Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. Austin here. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded a video, and I need to apologize about that. I just kind of lost my spark and haven't created anything in 13 months. Ouch. Anywho, disregarding that, I initially wasn't even going to make these series of videos until someone on the Arkham Discord server convinced me that this would be a good idea. So, CJ, if you're watching this, and I know you are, I blame you! And all of you should too for having to suffer through another one of these rewrite series. But, that's far and away at this point. Let's focus on the now. As the title shows, I'm rewriting Batman Arkham Origins. I want to get one thing out of the way before we even get started. I love this game. It is my favorite of the Batman Arkham series, bar none. And I think it's still a pretty damn good game despite my problems with it. This is more of a fun exercise and talking about more of the stuff I felt could have been done or I would have done in WB Montreal's place when they were creating this game, and I am eagerly awaiting their next project, be it Arkham or otherwise. So, without further ado and my prattling on, let's begin with my rewrite of Batman Arkham Origins. Before we get started, I'm just going to apologize about the audio quality of this small portion right here. The initial audio I had got corrupted when I tried editing it, so I'm just having to record this one part so I can edit it back in. Please ignore the vent fan. Anywho, moving on. Anywho, the first major change to the game is its opening. I love the Blackgate riot segment. I'm keeping it. It's a really good segment, but I wanted to do something different for the beginning of this game, and hopefully you'll like what I got. Okay, so to set the stage, Black Mask has an enormous drug and weapon shipment lined up at the Gotham docks that he's planning to ship overseas. This is his way to get into the foreign markets that he's been trying to work for a while, so he has a lot riding on this deal. So naturally, Batman has to come in and put a stop to that. How he does so is initially he sneaks in as Matches Malone. I love that alter ego of Bruce's. I think it's great. It needs to pop up more, and it's about time it showed up in a video game proper. If it's actually happened in a video game and I just didn't know that, please let me know in the comments down below. Anywho, so once Bruce gets the lay of the land and where everything is, he sneaks out, suits up, goes into the warehouse where this deal's about to go down, takes out all the thugs so we get most of our initial tutorial out of the way. He destroys the shipment, and Sionis is livid. He had so much riding on this deal that he has no choice. The Bat's gotta go. The feds are going to be on his ass about this. He can't cover it up anymore. He's going down thanks to this, and he's going to take Batman down with him if he can. So, he hires the assassins. Cue opening title. That's right. Black Mask is the main villain of this game through and through, even though I am keeping the Joker as a little spoiler. I love Arkham Origins, but they did my boy Black Mask a little dirty, so I want to give Sionis the respect I think he deserves in this game. Anywho, after we get done with that in the opening title sequence, then we get the Blackgate riot, at least the first one. Very little changes about that, with the exception of a few things. One, while it is reported that Commissioner Loeb has been taken prisoner by Black Mask, he is not killed in the execution chamber this time around. He is taken prisoner by Black Mask until we see him later in the game. So yeah, Commissioner Loeb at this point in time is still alive, but held hostage. Also, for the sake of continuity and for fun, let's just say Sionis decides to say screw it and lets out Calendar Man just for the hell of it. So we can go kill Judge Harkness during all that, and we can keep that little bit of continuity. I like Calendar Man. Give him a break. But yeah, other than that, the Killer Croc fight remains the same. He still tells Bruce about the assassins and all that. Bruce heads back to the Batcave to analyze the data chip from Penguin's drone, and he heads out to Jezebel Plaza to go take care of it. Very little changes there, so on and so forth. As a quick aside, I'm going to be talking about the side missions probably as a separate part so I can stay focused. So stuff like the Enigma, Anarchy, and everything else that happens in between setting them up in the main story, I want to talk about that in a separate video, probably as the very last part. Anywho, moving on. Batman heads over to the final offer, fights Deathstroke, one-shots Electrocutioner like the little bitch he is, and he gets the remote claw. Nothing changes there. Where the changes happen is when Batman arrives at Lacey Towers and analyzes the crime scene. There is still a dead body with a black skull mask, but he can't analyze it as Roman Sionis. We also have Tiffany Ambrose still strung up from the chandelier, dead as a doornail. As he analyzes the crime scene, he sees that while there is a minor struggle, there appear to be two sets of footprints leaving the building. With this knowledge in hand, Bruce then sets out towards the GCPD, but not before making a quick stop to the Batcave to pick up the concussion detonator. I'm not really going to touch up on gameplay here because I'm mainly focusing on the story with the exception of changes to boss fights with the assassins or the introduction of new boss fights later on. Pay attention to that in later parts. Anywho, with the concussion data now in hand, he heads towards the GCPD to gain access to the National Criminal Database. Nothing really changes with this segment. I love it to death. His meeting with Gordon, Barbara, Brandon, the whole shebang. I love this entire segment. I would not change a thing. It is perfection. Anywho, once Bruce makes his way through the sewers and finally gains access to the National Criminal Database, that's when things get a little bit more fun. He finally starts putting the pieces together, but a few things aren't adding up. But he's got enough information to figure out where he's headed next. While he can't completely nail down who was in Sionis' apartment and killed Tiffany and the fake Black Mask, he theorizes it must be someone calling themselves the Joker, based on text messages between Sionis and Tiffany up until she was attacked and later killed. What he has been able to theorize, however, is that Sionis is skipping town now that the feds are on his ass. So, he's more than likely going to his bank in order to grab as much money as he can in order to set up his new operation. So, with this knowledge in hand, Bruce is on his way to the With this knowledge in hand, Batman sets out towards the Gotham Merchants Bank to confront Sionis and put an end to this. Once Batman enters the bank, he notices bodies laying about the bank. Not nearly as much as in the base game where Joker had strung them up as a twisted Christmas decorations, but there are a few here and there, more mundane, just shot in the head, that kind of stuff. Now, the real changes happens once he enters the bank vault. Once he bursts through the roof, taking out two schmucks that were in there, he confronts someone he believes to be Roman Sionis. He's held at gunpoint by two mooks, but he's holding on to what he believes is Black Mask. When suddenly a voice from behind reveals to be the real Roman Sionis. The one he had been holding on to removes the black mask helmet to reveal the Joker. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves at this point, hey, why would the Joker work for Sionis? He's all about chaos and all that. He wouldn't work for a mob boss. Well, he's doing this for one simple reason. Fun. He's bored senseless. He wants something to do and occupy his time before he makes his move on Gotham. And if he gets $50 million to start off his criminal empire, even better. During the sequence, they reveal they killed Tiffany because she was going to squeal to the feds. He didn't want to have to do it, but Sionis is pragmatic, and he couldn't have her doing that. So, using a quick smoke bomb, Bruce manages to escape being held at gunpoint. It disarms the goons, but before he manages to grab Sionis or the Joker, they throw the seemingly mad bank manager at him and blow the vault. Bruce manages to barely escape being blown to hell, but is briefly knocked unconscious during this segment. Now we're going to do something a little fun. Similar to the Catwoman segments in Batman Arkham City, we're going to have one Deathstroke segment that'll tie into the game later. So, Slade wakes up in the back of a GCPD transport van. He hears the guards idly chatting. So with very, very little issue, he frees himself from his confinement, kills the guards, makes the transport crash. After he grabs what's left of his gear, he calls up his helper Wintergreen, admits he got cocky during his fight with Batman, and he needs to take things more seriously. And it's time to arm himself up for the real fight. So, after getting the location of his little stash of real weapons, he heads over there only to find this crawling, probably with Penguin or cops. Doesn't matter which, he's going to kill them regardless. So he suits up and he grabs all of his new gear. And this is going to transfer over to the challenge maps. I'm replacing one of his special combos with a blade move where he can just slash people that's around him. All I'm going to say about challenge move, moving on. All it matters is Slade is back and he's ready for round 2. And boys, they're going to be a round 2 later on in the game. But we cut back to Batman. He just wakes up from being knocked unconscious in the bank explosion. He sees the dead manager's grinning, ghastly face as she's dead. Then we get the Predator sequence in the bank. Nothing changes there except for Sionis yelling at his guards to kill Batman. He takes them all out, he interrogates the last one, and gets pointed towards the steel mill. I think we're going to stop here for this portion of the video. I'm going to have to edit this, but stick around if this entertains you, because it's only going to get more wild from here. This is Austin signing off for now.